Hey y'all, today's video is about paper crafting and not a scrapbook layout. So if you're not interested in paper crafting in general, this video probably isn't for you, but I just wanted to share with you some of the things that I use for other paper crafting projects, and I made some Happy Mail for some friends. So I thought I'd make a little video and show you what I use and what it ends up looking like. So around where I live, we usually have a couple of old book sales once a year that I go to, and it's based from the library, and so people donate books to them, or their older library books, you know, because of course they can't keep every book they get in. And they sell them relatively inexpensive. And then on the last day, all their books are half off. They're already low prices. Things are usually run $1 to $2. Some things are 50 cents. If it's something really vintage and collectible, of course, that's going to be more. But I'm a reader, and my family are readers. So I like to go for two reasons: to get books to read, because even paperback books are so expensive now. It's an expensive hobby to read, especially if you go through a lot of books quickly. So normally I get my books through this paperback swap site, or going to these sales, and on occasion I do buy books from a bookstore. Anyway, so once I go through the fiction books and pick out books that I want to read, I will look for vintage books for paper crafting. And I'm just going to show you an example of the things that I find and what I do with it. So this was $1, and it's a playbill from the Royal Theater. And I was flipping through it right before I started the video, and this is from the 60s. So if you look at it, you will see some great vintage ads. That's mostly what interested me in this, was the ads. Look at this old car ad, the 67 Chevy. There's aftershave. There's another car. Moisture cream. And then there's this cool fold out thing of theater seating. So this was $1, and it's a playbill. Look, there's a great color ad. There's a cigarette ad. You don't really see those anymore. Or hair color. So these are great for your junk journals, or if you make collages, you know, any type of paper crafting that you enjoy. And if you like vintage, I love vintage things. So there's that. And I also look for children's books, older children's books. Now this one was 50 cents, and it is, as you can tell, it was a library book. And sometimes when you get, it doesn't have it because it's not that old, but sometimes if it's old, you actually have the old style library pocket card. And I have some of those, but this one looks like they scanned it in. But so when I look at children's books, I look for the older books. And this one is 83. It's not as old as some of I found. I found some from the 50s and stuff before. But I kind of flip through them, and I look for the illustrations, see the colors on this. And, you know, this book, it's got rips, it's got wrinkles, but that even to me adds more to the vintage charm of it. So there's like a child's book. That's the kind of style I look for. Something with these great illustrations in it. And then dictionaries are great. Now this one isn't as old, and I'll show you an older one in a little journal I made. But this is like a first dictionary. This book was $1. Let me see when it's from. 1998. So it's not that old, but I just like dictionaries. I like dictionary pages, especially when they got photos in them. It's not as vintage as I prefer, but I thought it was still pretty cool. And then I love old sewing books and sewing magazines. And this one is about sketching, design and sketching. And I think this one is fairly old. 1973, because it looks like actually somebody typed this on a typewriter and then they printed it. So it's pretty cool. It's nice and big. And then if you make your own journals, you know, this cover's cool too. But yeah, I like the figures. And looky here. There's an added bonus of some vellum in here. And there's one that's really, really neat vellum. Let me find it. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I love that. That would be great in a journal or anything like you do that's crafty with vintage things. There's another one. I just love that. But anyway, so I look for those things at the book sales along with books to read. And I did find some books to read, and I did find some that I already had that I hadn't read yet, but that's okay because it supports the local library. Now, just to show you a little bit of Happy Mail that I made using some vintage pages along with some scrapbooking paper. And it's pretty simple. I didn't make any fancy pockets or anything in it, but you see this is an old like spelling textbook, which must have been like the teacher's edition because it gives you the answers, and it actually came in a spiral bound, so you tear the page out and you got this cool ripped edge. And then you've got the discoloration, you know, the yellowing because of the age. And then I just put some notebook paper in there because you want to give somebody room to write and add photos. There's a scrapbook page, and these are one-sided papers. So you have a blank on this side. Now this came out of an old atlas. I love map pages, and I didn't buy any. They had them, but I didn't buy any because I've got plenty of maps to use at the moment. There's another scrapbook page. And see, here is something that came out of a sewing book. There's another scrapbook page, and then some old music, piano music. I picked these up. I was going to get my hair cut, and I rode past a house that was having an estate sale. So on my way back, I stopped, and they had a stack of old piano music, sheet music. So that's where that came from. And then here's another sewing page. Here is a page out of a floral type encyclopedia of flowers. And look, that tells you how poisonous it is. I just saw that right there, the two little. And this I got out of I had bought one of those Flow magazines, the paper books. That's where this came out of. So, I mean, and now we're going to repeat because it's going to be the other half of the page that you just saw. See, there's the floral. There's a notebook. There is the sewing, songbook, music. There is blank, and there's the other side of scrapbook paper, the sewing, And then we're going to have another scrap of paper. The other side. There's the other side of the map. There's the scrap of paper, the other side of just some notebook paper. And here is that spelling page. And then here's the back page. So, just a fun little project to do, and I enjoy making these for something a little bit different. And they're going to go out in some Happy Mail to some friends. So just thought I would share that with you real quick, and we'll see you next time. Bye.